Oh, what's up,
What's going on, man?
Oh, it's a good time to be here. Cheers.
It is.
Oh, man. So, I drink a lot of IPAs, and I have some bowel movement problems. And I'm kind of worried I have IBS. IBS, not IPS. I don't know what that is. Sounds like an insane clown posse.
Yeah.
I have IBS. I think I have IBS anyway. But whenever we went to Myrtle Beach for my 21st birthday, I forgot what the breakfast place we ate at whenever we were leaving. But on the way back, like right on the way back, we was all leaving, heading back to the house, and I had to stop by the bathroom, dude. Like it was like I had to. Like I had to get gas, and like I had to go to the bathroom more than I had to get gas.
Oh shit.
So I pulled into the gas station, and I parked like just at the front, and I run in there, and I had to get a fucking key. They had the key at the front. I'm like, oh my god, dude!
The key with the big ass stick on.
Yeah, oh Jesus Christ, dude!
Like, you're gonna have to fight your way to the bathroom.
There's monsters on the way, and I gotta use a stick. Yeah, how is this gonna help me, man?
Yeah, you gotta beat people off.
Like, what? Wait, you gotta beat people off in the bathroom? Fuck.
That is not what this is about.
So I finally get the stick, and I had to wait in line to get the fucking stick, dude. And my stomach is like hurting, man. And I finally get to the bathroom, and as soon as I get there, and I don't want to like use details because that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's coming out as I sit on the toilet. Like my ass isn't on the toilet yet, and it's coming out like bad, And that's the least details I'll give. And so I'm like,
Hang on. Do you like when you go to? Do you like splat the wall?
No, it's like no, it's like a sprinkler, but it's like whenever it's on the phase where it's just shooting straight. so that's going straight into the toilet, and so like it's like I'm like a helicopter sitting on. Yeah. So it's coming out, and it's bad, and then I look over, and there's no toilet paper.
Oh, that's the worst, man.
So I'm like trying to come up with a plan. I try to come up with a plan, right? And my phone's about to die too, and my charger's in the car, so that doesn't help me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't text Shawn because he's fucking out of here. I thought about it. I was
now, where were you at this time?
It was like right when we left that breakfast place.
First watch?
Yeah. No, it was in Myrtle. It was on the way back from my 21st birthday.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, that breakfast place we ate, like the griddle. What we had, like the breakfast bowl in the skillet. The skillet place.
For sure.
Oh, excuse me. So I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? And so I'm like, well, I could use my sock. I could use my underwear and just like throw them away,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really don't want to get rid of these underwear. Like, I like these underwear. So then I start trying to like open the like the container that the toilet paper's in, use like the cardboard roll itself.
Damn, you're desperate.
I was. It was bad. Desperate. It was messy.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, it's not coming apart. Like, I don't want to break it, and it's not coming apart. So I start looking around, and I see toilet paper on the floor.
No.
Yes.
No.
I used bits of toilet paper off the floor to wipe my ass. I'm not fucking playing.
You never told me
it was
this.
down, and I ain't gonna lie. I tried to hang my ass into the sink and wash my ass off in the sink like a bidet.
Yeah,
but I couldn't really get in there without like sitting on. Like, I was too dangerous.
Somebody walks in. What the hell?
Well, it was a one-person bathroom. To be fair.
Okay.
So I didn't want to like sit.
I
didn't want to sit on the sink like with my feet up. I was trying to like just like back my ass up onto the seat, and that wasn't working. So
nice.
I used toilet paper bits off the floor to wipe my ass.
That's desperation time.
Drove home, and when I got home, my underwear still had shit in it. And I was so fucking mad.
Oh my God.
I was so mad, dude. And whenever I got home, I was like, kind of, I was very glad to get home because I could check my shitty ass. But also, you said you had a gift waiting on me at the house, and that was that Nick Foles,
the Nick
Eagles
Foles Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Nick Foles Super Bowl. Yeah.
For people who don't know, I'm a big Patriots fan. He's a big Eagles fan, and Nick Foles, the Philly special, is what I got him when they beat the Patriots. Got him like a framed picture of that.
It was like a frame of like all the different articles in Philadelphia whenever the Eagles won.
Right.
Like Nick Foles superhero, like shit like that. Yeah. It was like 20 of them across the poster.
And it hurt to buy, but you got to give good gifts.
But yeah, man, I was excited to get home and like see what the gift was. But I was also like, I have shit on me.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't expect this opening. So I can kind of relate to this because, well, not as far as...
Because I shit myself.
Not as far as picking up stray toilet paper to wipe my ass, but...
It was clean on to the eye.
But I remember drinking IPAs so much on a Saturday and then coming into work on a Saturday or Friday and then coming into work on a Saturday. And dude, you know how it is when you drink IPAs. The next day, your stomach is like, oh man, it starts turning. So I'm at work and
The slithers,
dude. And oh man. And I don't know who it was who walked in, but he walks in and all I hear is, damn, someone's got to change their diet. And I was like, I couldn't help but just bust out like
right? And that's how you became big meal prep guy. And now you're big yogi.
Yeah. I am big yogi. I haven't really talked about it much lately, but
You went to hot yoga this morning.
I did.
Fuck
I did.
yeah,
Yeah. My buddy Rhett. We were watching one of the UFC fight nights downstairs, and
Yeah.
And we were drinking, and he kind of mentioned it to me about hot yoga, and I was like, that doesn't seem like anything I would get into.
Right.
But I had just started picking up the kettlebells and started getting into a routine and working out. I was probably 3 or 4 weeks in. And he planted that seed. And week by week, he would just, a little mention here, a little mention there. And it really grew on me. And so I finally was like, you know what? I'm kind of gonna overcome that anxiety of just going.
Yes.
That I'm just gonna go and try it once. I can at least try it once.
Dude, we talk about anxiety every episode. I was actually listening to Killswitch Engage on the way here.
Yeah.
And one of the lyrics, I forget what song it was on the album I was listening to, but the lyric was like, "You can live a life without fear. Like I would rather burn up than fade away."
Yes.
And it's like, oh man, that's anxiety in a nutshell, man.
It really is.
That's like you can just live life like living life comfortable is a slow and painful death.
It really is, because you're kind of scared to be yourself.
Yes.
And while I'm in hot yoga, which is, if anybody, especially the old heads, who kind of laugh at hot yoga.
Yeah, right.
Bring your ass down there because it's an hour and a half of 105 degrees in that bitch, and it is hot, exhausting. And you are sweating your ass off. So if you want to shed weight, to me, that is one of the quickest ways to completely shed weight.
I mean, sweat is like perfect. That's what you got to do. You got to sweat. You got to sweat it out. You got to change your diet. You got to sweat it out.
Yeah, for sure.
And whenever you sweat it out and you feel like shit, it makes you want to change your diet.
But honestly, I didn't expect to get into this so quickly, because we don't talk about where like I have my notes, you have your notes.
Well, we actually used to talk like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yes.
And that's what made us want to start a podcast. So now that we're doing the podcast, we don't talk nearly as much.
We save that conversation for now.
Like maybe once a week.
So he'll have notes, I'll have notes, but we never really talk about what our notes are.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you want to open it up? He'll be like, yeah. Or he'll ask me the same thing. I'll be like, yeah. But I'm sitting there in hot yoga, and there's Shavasana that is a moment to where you lay on your back and you take a couple of seconds to just relax your body, to get to wipe off your face. It gives you a second. You just lay there and kind of meditate for a second.
It's just a rest moment, yeah.
And
Shavasana.
Yes. And you know who pops into my head while I'm laying there, which is kind of weird, but is Tyler Elwell pops into my head, who passed away due to medical conditions at the age of 21, 22.
Yeah, he might have been 21. I think I was
very close friend.
For sure.
And if you're lucky enough to have known Tyler, you would know that he was always himself.
Yeah, for sure.
He was always himself. He never shied away from being himself.
No, definitely not.
And I'm sitting there this morning, and I'm like, man, if I could just tell people to be more of themselves.
Yes.
To not be scared of what other people think of you, trying to fit in, trying to, whatever it may be. Just work on being yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to like lining your life up.
Right.
Is to figuring out who you are, who you want to be, and pushing towards that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to talk about sometimes, because I was very close to Tyler.
Oh yeah, we both were for sure.
It's like one of those things where like I see people that are like that, like especially with Tyler being such a close friend. It's like he was such a genuine person, and like I wish more people could know who he was,
Yeah.
And it's like that's why I respect so many genuine people, because it's like they impact my lives so well, or like in such a good way.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I want more people to see genuine people like this, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm really drawn towards unique people, honestly.
Right.
Not so much for people who are like trying to fit into a crowd and be the popular person or be the hipster, whatever you want to say.
I just want you to like what you like.
I just want you to be yourself.
Yes.
As much as you can be. And if people don't like who you are, they're not for you.
Exactly. There's other people that will like who you are.
And when you got that like sense of like when you have that in your mind, your relationship, the person you're trying to find,
right,
that right person will fall into place when
for sure.
you are yourself, because they'll accept you for who you are.
Yes,
because you're presenting yourself at face value. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's also like you don't want to like pretend to be somebody else. And then you say you do meet that person that you're looking for, and then you start slowly getting comfortable and slowly start to revert back to how you really are, and they're like, you've changed.
But that's really how you were.
But you're just being how you really are. Yeah. But you changed from that fake person.
Front. Yes. Yeah.
And it's so strange, man. I didn't expect to go into this right off the bat.
And I've, as the week went on, I'd never thought about it. And this just clicked into my head today. As I was doing hot yoga, I was like, more people just need to work on being themselves. I think that's what kind of cuts out that depression, that anxiety.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Be yourself. If people don't like it,
fuck them.
Fuck them.
They're
not for you.
Yes. And
the friends will start to come in. The people who accept you for who you are.
And it's so much easier because you're comfortable around those people, because you're being yourself.
Exactly.
It's so strange that we went into this. But like, speaking of Tyler Elwell, man, I was talking about Killswitch Engage. He was such a big fan of Killswitch, dude.
He was.
That's what's crazy. I would love to, like, whenever I think about, like, friends that I don't get to see much, like the friends that I had pass away, like Dylan and Tyler, I want to show them all this music I found now,
Yeah, for sure. So, I know you're trying to connect that Killswitch Engage to Tyler, but do you have an album you want to recommend?
Oh, actually, I do, because I've been listening to Killswitch a lot this week, and on the way here, like, Disarm the Descent was one that got recommended to me, and that's one that, like, I first saw live by Killswitch.
Yeah.
I was never producing that album, but if I had to recommend a Killswitch album, it would definitely be The End of Heartache.
And I think that's an amazing album.
Right.
End of Heartache is an amazing album, and I think that's it's definitely one of the most popular albums for Killswitch Engage.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who we're talking about, it's a metal band out of, I can't remember. Where are they out of? I can't remember. But
I'm not sure.
End of Heartache around 2005, 2010. Was it 2008?
I believe so. It might have been earlier than that. About 2007.
Yeah, because I think that As Daylight Dies came out in 2006.
Yeah, maybe. I think. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm just spitballing here, but
right.
But I would personally recommend As Daylight Dies, but End of Heartache is an amazing album.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah, especially if you're.
And I'm not recommending it for like. I mean, whenever I recommend any album, that was kind of like the first album I listened to before I really listened to Killswitch. Obviously, like My Curse was off of As Daylight Dies. On Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
And so that's where I first heard Killswitch. But I really like the song Reckoning too, which is off their self-titled.
Right.
But The End of Heartache is just the one, like, I was like never a person, like growing up, I always wanted to be like a person that listened to music all the time, It's just a strange thing to want to be.
Yeah.
But like I would listen, like I would like fall asleep on the couch or whatever, and I'd be listening to music in my earbuds.
Right.
And it was so uncomfortable to me, but I really liked music. And so I started listening to at The End of Heartache was actually like a memory I have of falling asleep on the couch and listening to that album.
Really?
Yeah, that was like one of the first albums I fell asleep listening to.
Okay.
Was The End of Heartache.
I didn't know that.
But man, it's like, and I'll say this about music like that's like really heavy and metal music, and it's a very heavy album. And I'm not recommending it as like if you don't like metal, don't listen to it. But it's a heavy album, but like the lyrics, man, they're very emotional. They're they're very transparent.
Yeah.
Like anything you want to listen to, there are people that like really like putting their hearts out there and just like expressing themselves the best way they possibly can.
For sure. And as for me, I would recommend, if I was going to go, if you're a first time listener of Killswitch Engage or metal music, I would suggest listening to, Into Heartache is going to be a good album to jump into. I would put that number 2 for Killswitch Engage, but I would suggest listening to As Daylight Dies, because that's what I got into, because I never liked metal music, but when I found that album,
and
that makes really
sense.
I was like, I really like this, but I don't want people to know that I like stuff that
It's like screamo.
it's like screamo. Yeah,
for
I don't
sure.
want people to know that I listen to stuff that people
Think
look
it's
down
weird.
upon.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's weird. So, to me, Howard Jones is one of the best vocalists of all time, and I don't mean like top 10.
Talent-wise, yeah.
I mean like a top 100 guy.
Like an honorable mention type.
A very honorable mention type. And in heavy metal, he's got a very operatic and a very unique style of vocals, who could obviously hit those highs and lows when it comes to screaming. So you're not going to hear a vocalist like him. There's no one that's like him.
For sure. And like, if you can appreciate talent, you'll appreciate the band for
sure.
any instrument, but like especially the vocals and any metal song. I mean, the talent it takes and the practice it takes to be able to scream without fucking your vocals up.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. And Howard Jones is really mastered that.
Yeah, so if you're looking to like get into metal, I would suggest As Daylight Dies and Into Heartache.
For sure.
Both phenomenal albums, both with Howard Jones as the front man. Jesse Leach he started the band out with Alive or Just Breathing, and started the band out, eventually left because of anxiety and
for sure.
and depression. Left the
then
band.
Howard Jones took
came
over.
in, took them to new heights, and then eventually took over because they started to get so big because
Howard
of
left for the same reason.
the same reasons. And that really brings me, just the talk of metal music brings me into one of my favorite characters I have seen in a long time, and that is Eddie Munson from Stranger Things.
Oh, dude, it's such a good character, man.
It really is.
And like, as soon as and I don't want to spoil anything, but he's a character in the new season 4 of Stranger Things, and he's got this. He's wearing a metal vest to start off. Like, the vest has the patches on it.
The
and
Dio
the back
patch.
patch is the Dio patch.
Yeah.
And that's like, I knew I would love this character just off of that.
Just off of the Dio patch. That's respect, dude.
For sure.
And I think come Halloween time, you're going to start seeing those Dio patches around
Yes,
a little bit
yes.
more.
I like
And
it,
you're going to
dude.
start
I
seeing
like
some
it.
wigs,
Yeah.
And we used to go to Bourbon Street in New Orleans a lot and dress up, and it is so much fun. If you've never been, I really suggest that you go to Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
Right.
It's so much fun. And just dress up, you and your friends. You might see Tyrone Biggums.
Oh, man.
You might
And
see.
you look over and see fucking Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, and then you look over to see
Like a football squad. You look over and see the New England Patriots across the street. Like, it was so crazy.
you might see the Warriors. You might see, who played Tim Curry when he played
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture
You might
Show.
see anything. You might see The Office.
You might see Stone Cold Steve Austin in the corner, ready to like Stone Cold stoning you and pound 2 beers.
Yeah, right.
It's so much fun down
That's
there.
so crazy, man.
And it gives you kind of a second to just be a kid and dress up and enjoy some beers just for a day.
It's kind of funny that you talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I was thinking, like, I've been watching. I don't really watch like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, like, these UFC fighters that talk shit about professional wrestling, and the next thing you know, they end up going into it. Like, they just want to make the money, dude.
And I think that we've seen Ronda Rousey, who was a big part of UFC.
Yes.
I think that once Conor McGregor,
He's such a showman.
Vince McMahon is licking his chops at Conor McGregor right now.
Dude.
Once Conor McGregor finishes it, once he becomes that gatekeeper, which I think he's almost there. He's right there to becoming that gatekeeper.
Right.
I think that Vince McMahon's going to be calling him, saying, "Hey, man, you want to make some real money?"
Oh, dude.
Because he's a money guy.
He's gonna make way more money doing his own thing. Like, McGregor's built his own brand at this point. It's so
but
ridiculous.
you could easily. I mean, obviously, you can go and challenge Floyd Mayweather again, and Floyd Mayweather is that guy who will be like, okay, this is an easy sparring match for him
for sure. And he has challenged.
He has, and make some money again, put on the show. I won't buy the pay-per-view because I know what it is. It's a cash grab
on YouTube or something the next day.
So Vince McMahon is already licking his chops at like the Paul brothers, the guys who can sell tickets.
Dude. Yeah, for sure.
That's what Vince McMahon's going for.
That's what he's got to do.
Yeah.
But you brought up Ronda Rousey. It's so crazy to think about, like in like 2014 or whenever Ronda Rousey was in that like Hall of Fame where she was unstoppable, dude.
Yeah, I remember being in Days Inn. You were with me, and I woke up and we came back from some festival. I think it was the Kentucky Festival, which was
it was about 2017.
Yeah, like Stevie Nicks.
Yeah. Bed Bourbon and Beyond.
Yeah. Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, Bourbon and
Steve
Beyond.
Miller Band. Gary Clark Jr.
Joe Bonamassa.
It was
like a blues folky festival.
Very folky festival. And on our way back, I remember waking up and going, holy shit, Ronda Rousey lost.
I don't even remember who she fought the first time.
It was Holly Holmes. Okay. Holly Holmes knocked her out with the head kick.
Yeah, Holly Holm was like, it's so, I mean, Holly Holm was a monster for sure.
Yeah.
But like, it's so crazy to think about whenever Ronda Rousey was unbeatable. Like everybody remembers. I don't care if you watched UFC or if you didn't. If you were you had any involvement in sports, you knew Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
And she was so good,
you knew when she lost because she seemed so unbeatable. She would judo throw you to the ground and armbar you so quick.
Her judo was so good, dude.
And I'm talking like a minute, the fight would be over.
Yeah.
Because she was so dominant.
It's just like she's like the armbar is always there for her.
People forgot. People really forgot how Ronda Rousey paved that way for female fighters.
And what makes you bring this up is I saw a Facebook post the other day that was like the Mount Rushmore of female fighters. Okay. They didn't have Ronda Rousey on there.
Yeah. They didn't have Ronda Rousey on there?
They just want to shit on her, man.
Yeah, and I get it because
she wasn't, I'm not going to say she was the best female fighter, like ever, but she really like started that movement.
She paved the way.
Yeah. She paved the way of female fighters coming on and be like, I can make so much money off this shit.
Yeah.
And Ronda was so fucking good.
She was dominant, man.
She came out and she beat the fuck out of these women.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, every time she entered the fight, it was like, the question wasn't if Ronda Rousey was going to win. It was how quick she was going to win.
Yes.
How quick was she going to get her opponent to the ground with a judo throw and submit them?
And then she goes out and gets knocked out in the first round.
Oh, man. The Holly Holm fight, you was like, she's in danger, but the whole time you're like, she's going to pull it out. 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 Then the head kick happened. You was like,
and she gets up and she's like, she's stumbling like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, so who do you have in your Mount Rushmore for female UFC fighters?
Okay, so obviously Ronda Rousey's got to be number one, like head of the pack.
I wouldn't put her number one, but I would put her on the Mount Rushmore.
See, I would put her on number one just because she paved the way. Like, I
respect that. There's
no Holly Holm, there's no Amanda Nunes, but I will go second saying Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, dude, just fucking unstoppable. It was so just like we were talking about Ronda Rousey getting beat, and it was like, what the fuck? Amanda Nunes getting beat last time by Juliana Pena.
That was another moment.
Shout out to Crabman.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but we were at his house, and I couldn't believe he called it. He was like, "It just seems like the moment that Juliana Pena is going to beat Amanda Nunes."
Right.
And I was like, "Nah, it's not happening." But she pulled it out, and I can't wait for fight.
I fucking told y'all.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's such a lucky guess. Or was it?
I put.
But then I'll go. So I got Amanda Nunes at second. I've got Ronda Rousey number one. For number three, I'm gonna probably go Valentina Shevchenko.
Oh, for sure.
I can't put her over Amanda Nunes because Amanda Nunes is a close number one.
And they fought twice, and Nunes has won split decision twice.
Both times, yes.
So I would give,
for sure.
Personally, I would go Nunes, Shevchenko, Ronda Rousey. The fourth one is the most interesting.
And people were talking about Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah.
I think I'm taking Chris
Cyborg. Yeah, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
I'm taking Chris Cyborg, dude.
I fucking knew it because I was going to go Chris Cyborg.
Chris Cyborg's a bad motherfucker.
Only lost 2 fights, I think, in the UFC, and that's a bad motherfucker, dude. I wanted to go Joanna and Jacek, but
it was a top 5, which the Mount Rushmore's only 4, so I guess you didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
but
I expected you to go
is number 5.
I expected you to go Joanna, and I think it's Chris Cyborg is number 4.
Chris Cyborg is number 4. But dude, like, it's so cool. But like, I've got to have Ronda Rousey at number 1 just for paving the way of.
I appreciate that.
Like, people don't respect. Like, sometimes you got to respect your elders. And that's her. She's a fucking legend in UFC history. I mean, she was on.
She's the Beatles of.
Yeah, she's the Beatles
of women's UFC.
And not only was she like paving the way, but she was also so dominant, man. She really made it like evident that women could be fucking ridiculous in this.
Yeah, it was insane.
We haven't even talked about this beer we're drinking.
This is the Greenville IPA India Pale Ale from Brewery 85. It's 7%. It's pretty good, man. I really enjoy it.
It is. It says malty, hoppy, and balanced on the can, and I definitely see the maltiness.
I see the balance in it.
Yeah,
honestly.
the maltiness and the balance. It's definitely like
hoppy.
I don't either. It's a darker IPA for sure. It reminds me of like a lager a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. But it's delicious, dude. I really like this. I know that I see this a lot at like shows that we go to, or like like a football game or something like that. I always see this on draft. They'll have these, like the kegs of these, but it's a pretty good beer, man. I really like this.
Yeah, I was a fan. I went to Total Wine and I was looking for the brewery, the Thomas Creek double IPA.
Yeah, up the creek. Yeah,
up the creek, and I couldn't find it, so I went with this.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I messaged Crabman. Crabman's the one that recommended this,
right.
And I messaged him and asking like places to go. And unfortunately, I went to one of the places he recommended, and they didn't have it either. The 2 places we went to, they didn't have it.
So I went to Total Wine too, who has everything. They have everything,
right,
and I couldn't find it.
But we're definitely going to look for it. We want to try it, and I will say that I want to add that if you want us to try any beers, please comment and recommend beers to try.
In the comment section, let us know the beers you like. We want to try.
Yes,
so let us
absolutely.
know. And they told us at Total Wine, it was like, we have the kegs. I thought about it.
Oh man, up the creek.
Up the creek.
Wow.
I thought about getting the keg and just sitting this bitch right here.
Wow. And we just get hammered.
I was like, you know what? We'll just go with the
right?
IPA. Maybe I can find it next time.
For sure.
So,
but yeah, we were talking about like the metal music. And I will use like Killswitch Engage as one of those bands that's like how metal music is misunderstood.
It really is.
Dude, like people look at it and they hear like the vocals are like very loud and aggressive, and people are screaming. And it's like, and I had this talk with Mom actually. We were talking about metal music. I don't know if we were listening, or like I don't think I was playing a 2000s playlist. Me and Mom were just like hanging out and like washing my car or something. She was hanging out there with me, and I had a 2000s playlist on, and Killswitch comes on, or Lamb of God or something. And she's like, "Oh, I just can't listen to this. It's just there's no talent in there. It's not good."
Which I get it.
Yeah, I get it too, because it's hard on the ears.
Screaming, it's hard on the ears.
And I was like, "Well, he's just trying to express himself. This is the best way he can express himself." Exactly. And I was like, whenever you get in an argument with somebody, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to yell at somebody, right?
When you're overcome with emotion. Go ahead. I mean to cut you off.
You're good. Keep going.
When you're overcome with emotion, the best way to express yourself, and this is for everyone, you can all. I think you can all, like most of the listeners can relate to this when you're in an argument with someone, and you're so passionate about what you believe.
You're going to yell.
You're going to yell.
And so whenever I said this to her, I'm like, whenever you're in an argument with somebody, you're going to yell at them. And she goes, "Yeah, because that's just because I want them to hear me." I'm like, exactly. These people just want to be heard.
Yes.
These are people that haven't been heard their whole lives, and that's how they're expressing themselves. They want to be heard.
Yeah, so they're trying to tell you how they feel. They're trying to tell you how they feel.
And it's so beautiful that that's how they choose to express themselves. Yes. It might seem violent or aggressive or whatever, but it's so beautiful because they want to be heard.
Yeah, and not all of heavy metal is anti-Christ or
right,
or working from the demonic angle.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a lot of Killswitch Engage's lyrics are very uplifting if you really look into it.
Yeah, and I talked about the album "The End of Heartache." One of the songs in there, "Rose of Sharon." Yes. It's about like one of their like a very close friend of Howard Jones. His mom died.
Yeah,
and so it's like I'm gonna see you again. You know, Like that's like the whole message is like another song. Excuse me. Breathe Life. Like Breathe Life.
That's
for
from
You Are
the
Not
first
Alone.
album. Oh no,
Yeah.
that's some. Breathe Life is from.
I want to say that's from End of Heartache too.
It is from End of Heartache because I'm thinking of Life to Lifeless. I'm sorry, from the first album.
Yeah. But Breathe Life is like Breathe Life for You Are Not Alone.
Yes.
Like life is so beautiful, and so you just got to breathe it in sometimes.
For
But I will counter this argument with like bands like Slayer who are very demonic.
They are very demonic.
Like
They're,
almost
they're
a hateful
very
band.
demonic. Yeah, they're very demonic bands out there.
And like while they may be very talented, and I do listen to those bands.
I do too.
I do listen to a lot of those bands that just for the talent and like the quality of music. But like bands like I want to talk about the band Disturbed. Like Disturbed is a very easy band to listen to. Like even like the Down with the Sickness album, you know, it has a few like cuss words in it.
And not to cut you off, but the Down with the Sickness album is one of those albums that I recommend for people who don't listen to metal.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's why I brought it up.
it is a new metal album that people like elite metalists shit on.
Right.
They tend to shit on new metal, especially like after those bands have progressed. So they'll agree with, you know, like the first album of Slipknot or whatever it may be.
Right.
They like those, but as they get better, they're like, oh, they sold out or whatever. But the first, like Down with the Sickness, that album,
yeah,
it's a great album for people who don't listen to metal, and it's still a great album for people who do listen to metal.
Yes, and I remember listening to it when I was like 10 years old, dude. And the song Down with the Sickness, like the breakdown in that song, is so strange, man. This album came out in 2000.
I thought about this until you mentioned it a while back.
Yeah, and like I don't know why I thought about it. I don't remember what like made me think about this, but like the like just like the breakdown is so strange. If you haven't heard the song, it's a very strange breakdown. Like the dude is very disturbed,
and we all know the ooh,
yeah, for sure.
Like we all know the
intro to the song.
The intro to the song.
So
we all
iconic.
know the Down with the Sickness, iconic. But we forget the
don't
breakdown.
do it, mommy. I'll be a good boy.
It's weird.
It's so weird.
It's very weird.
And like listen to it at 10 years old, I was like, this is some good shit. And then like I just ignore the breakdown part.
Yeah.
And
just tune it out.
It's so strange.
It's so weird.
And that's where I'll go to like the counteract the metal being misunderstood is like there's some music like that out there when you listen to metal. That's fucking out there.
You know what you can connect that to? Like that little small part in that song is to Korn.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Like that was kind of the scatting, like the little bit of it's not that whole part kind of there was something there that I think
man.
And I don't think that the metal audience was listening for that, but
they weren't, and that's what kind of drew them
thought
in.
that they were. Like the bands thought they were, and they really wasn't listening for that. But
man, but I mean, I love metal music, and that kind of brings you back to we talked about Eddie Munson earlier. But what are some other like characters like that you really love, man?
Characters that I really love,
like just like a character that's like so likable. And I think we talked about it last episode. We were talking about like Almost Famous. It might have been episode 1, but like characters that are just like so likable, man. Not just character actors, but like just one character, you know, that you really like.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be necessarily a great acting performance, but Eddie Munson for me, if you would have had 4 seasons of him, he would have been the best character in the show.
It's so good.
And none of these people who watch Stranger Things would have gave a fuck about someone who was like Eddie Munson. They would have looked at him as like, oh, that's just another heavy metal fan.
For sure.
And they would have missed out. So it's really good to see Hollywood push heavy metal a little bit and show it in a bright light versus a negative light, which is what all of media does, is always push down and shoves down metalheads and people who love metal as a negative, and fuck that, man.
But now another thing I will say is like, I don't know if Hollywood is like, yeah, okay, let's lift up metal. I think it's just the Duffer Brothers, the people who directed Stranger Things. For
sure.
They know their platform is so big they can put whatever the fuck they want on it and people are going to watch it.
And also, that's true. And also, in the 80s, which is where Stranger Things is taking place.
86. Started 82.
That's when metal was big. Massive. Iron Maiden, Slayer, all those big Metallica, all those bands were massive then.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just kind of funny to see people really love that character.
Yes.
But you've never loved that character outside of that show.
Now I will say though,
And I mean in real life.
like right now, it's kind of like the wave of like the emo, like the fishnets and the like the black. Like everybody's wearing black so much lately. It's kind of pushing that thing like the synth wave is coming like back. And it's kind of the same thing where that's why Stranger Things. Another reason Stranger Things is so popular is because like a lot of the music in there is synth wave.
It is like they're running up the hill.
Yeah, and like if you have, I don't know if you have subtitles on
I usually don't
when you have Netflix on, but. So I do, and every time any song plays, it's like Journey was played in season 4.
Oh yeah, the Separate Ways.
Yeah, and so and you know what the subtitles say for it?
What?
Industrial synth version of Separate Ways plays.
Oh, that's a fucking buzzkill.
But that's what it says.
That's
and,
weird.
and that was accurate. It was a fucking spot on description of the song.
Weird, man.
But yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But yeah, characters that I like. What I think of character actors that I really like.
Or not just character actors, like just one character, like
just a character, not the actor, but the character.
One
that
one that comes to mind for me is Jesse Pinkman on Breaking Bad.
Yeah, one of the best characters of all time, for sure.
What has he played in other than that?
You pull for him so much, and he keeps fucking up.
I know.
You still can't help but to pull for him.
For sure, man. And that's Breaking Bad is. I'll consider it the greatest show of all time.
I think that's what comes to mind.
And that's a hot take because I haven't seen The Sopranos. I haven't seen The OA or like shows that people say are like the greatest of all time. But, dude, Breaking Bad is perfect. And if you guys haven't watched Breaking Bad.
It's a 10 out of 10. And I don't put 10 out of 10 out there very often. But to me, Breaking Bad is a perfect masterpiece 10 out of 10.
For sure.
Yeah. And to be honest, Stranger Things, to me, I think is a little overrated.
I can see that.
It's a great show. I want to be very clear. It's a great show. I do recommend it. There's a lot of cool ass shit, and season 4 kind of saved it because I think season 3 was not as good. Season 1, it was very low, not very low budget, but they kind of lost their way. After that, they started gaining some traction, gaining some money, and they went more towards like a CGI, very like a very visual.
Yeah, maybe.
Sense of the show. And season 2 was okay. Season 3, they kind of lost me. I get it was Billy's. It kind of lost me. So going into season 4, I was like, I don't really care. I'm gonna be honest.
I will say something like it's so easy to say that, but like I think another reason it's getting so big is because we don't have shows like that now.
That's very true.
Like obviously we want to have those shows that especially like the younger generation, and I'm a part of that. You're a part of that.
Yeah.
The younger generation wants to see shows like in the past that are so fucking good.
Yeah.
But now we have this show where it's fucking like the highest quality we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
We don't have shows like that, so they're gonna overrate it because it's the best we have now.
That's a good point. And I think there's some things that we don't see this behind the scenes. Like I showed you the makeup of Vecna.
Yes, absolutely.
The work that goes into that, man, of creating that badass villain.
Right.
There's so much work.
And watching that video, dude,
quality,
it
man.
reminds me of like Vincent Price, like the old fucking horror movies.
Yeah.
Of like putting the makeup on, like putting the Freddy Krueger shit on, putting the
Yes.
And whenever I think of Vincent Price, obviously I think of the Thriller video. With Michael Jackson.
I think of House on Haunted Hill when I think of
like,
Vincent
dude,
Price.
like you think of like
I don't know why, but
you think of classic fucking putting like cake and makeup on and like making those costumes.
Yeah.
And me and Gabby have this dispute. It's not really a dispute, but I want to name my son Vincent.
You do?
Yeah.
I like the name Vincent.
But Gabby doesn't like it. And so I get it. It's a strange name.
Sounds like we're going with Vincent.
But Vincent's a good name, man. Vincent's a real fucking good name. And like I think of characters like Vincent Vega, or like I think of people like Vincent Van Gogh.
Oh, that's true.
But I also think of like stupid ass characters like in BoJack Horseman. There's this kid.
Never seen that.
And that's actually Jesse Pinkman. The actor is Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul, yeah, that's it.
And he is a voice actor in that show. But a fucking great part that he plays.
I never answered your question though, and I hate to leave questions unanswered. And my favorite characters in shows. That's a good question, man. I think that obviously what first comes to mind is Christoph Waltz and I know we've talked about so many Quentin movies already.
We did, and we talked about Christoph Waltz last weekend.
And we're not going to stop but yeah, the Hans Landa is my all-time favorite.
So good, dude.
But other character actors, I really love John Goodman in The Big Lebowski.
Well, I don't want to talk about just like I want to talk about like characters that played like in one movie. I don't want to talk about like character actors.
Okay.
Like Eddie Munson, for example, or Jesse Pinkman.
Yeah.
They were in like one show, one movie, and that's it.
Well, I'm sorry. The actor that played Eddie Munson, he's been in some stuff before.
Yeah, but like we don't know.
He's been in I think it was Prince Alistair or whatever.
Exactly. You can't really think of what it is or what the movie. Like you would never like just correlate that without knowing.
That was a staple. Yeah, that was a staple. It like solidified.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Performance.
Yeah. Like obviously Jesse Pinkman probably acted 1,000 times growing up. But,
that's possible. Yeah.
So it's like that's what I want to see is like those characters that like you don't think about.
So give me some underrated actors to you. Who were some of the most underrated actors for you?
Right now, there's one that like shines so bright for me.
And who's that?
It's Bill Skarsgård.
He's a good one.
He played in obviously if you've seen any of the It movies,
right?
He's the remake of It. He's the new Pennywise,
right? But
a very underrated acting performance by him is The Devil All the Time.
And I haven't seen that. And you're a big Robert Pattinson fan.
I am, and that's kind of what I watched it for. I watched it for Tom Holland. I watched it for Bill Skarsgård and Robert Pattinson, but mainly Robert Pattinson. But dude, I was blown away by the Bill Skarsgård performance.
Really?
I'm like, I want to see him in more. Like, if I don't see him in more movies, I'm going to be upset.
Okay.
Phenomenal actor, dude.
Yeah.
The way, like, obviously he put on such a good performance as Pennywise, but
right.
Excuse me, he destroys the movie because he actually plays a real person. And The Devil All the Time. Yeah,
and honestly, it's hard shoes to fill Tim Curry's shoes. Tim Curry is one of the greatest actors of all time. I mean, I say that. I put him, maybe he's a top 100, but he is very underrated. You forget about the performance in, Rocky Horror Picture Show or... you forget about the little moments he makes in Home Alone.
Or in like a scary movie with his long-ass nipples. You forget about that one. Nobody want to think about that.
Yeah. Who else you got, man? Underrated actors.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it too much. The first one that comes to my mind, obviously, is Bill Skarsgård. But let's see. Off the top of my head... underrated actors. I don't know. That's kind of hard. I'd have to think about that a little more. What about you?
I got a couple in my mind. I like Toni Collette from you drinking on fire. You down in them bitches.
It tastes so good once it hits your lips.
You're going Frank the Tank. Yeah. You're going Will Ferrell, old school. Toni Collette from Hereditary. The performance was
okay.
Oscar winning.
Yeah, we talked about this last weekend.
We did. And she is phenomenal.
Yeah, I like that.
Very underrated. Another one is Sam Rockwell.
Okay, that's very underrated. I like that.
Starred in The Green Mile, who also starred in Moon.
That's
phenomenal actor, dude. A couple others is Walton Goggins.
Yeah, anytime I think of Walton Goggins, so it's The Hateful Eight, obviously another Quentin movie. Of course, obviously we're going to talk
automatically,
about Quentin.
Yeah.
When I think of The Hateful Eight, and I think of that weekend we were at the Pilgrimage Festival,
right,
and the whole time we're quoting the President of the United States of America. And I just kept saying this, and I was like hammered. Whenever me and Gabby got back to the hotel, and I'm so drunk, and I keep saying this, and she's like, "You have to fucking stop saying that shit." It's like, it's ridiculous. You got to stop. Like, she's like trying to bring me back in, like I'm off the rails.
Yeah, that's hilarious. The President
of the United States of America, and I show her the video like it's it's out of context. It doesn't make sense.
Dude, Walton Goggins was he really convinced me into The Hateful Eight.
Right,
his character was so funny, man.
One character he did play was, and I don't know why I always correlate this, but the character he played in Sons of Anarchy. He was transgender.
He was transgender, yeah.
Yeah, and he played such a good character in that too, man.
He also played in Django. He was about to snip Jamie Foxx's nuts when he's hanging upside down.
Oh, wow. I remember that. That's so crazy, man.
So many Walton guys. And he's got Righteous Gemstones. He's got a new...
I haven't watched that yet.
He's got a new thing coming out with Danny McBride, and it's like The Principles or something where they're both trying to like win I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer.
I'm already interested. I'm such a big fan of Danny McBride.
Yeah, he's so funny, man.
I always think of like Pineapple Express when he's like... if you hadn't seen Pineapple Express,
it's a classic comedy.
It.
Classic.
It's so funny. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. But there's a scene where they're like preparing to go to battle, and he's like trying to come up with catchphrases whenever he pulls his gun out. And so he pulls his gun out and he goes, "Don't." It's like the cheesiest shit. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah,
stop doing that. Don't do what you're doing right now. It's like
Quit.
the dumbest. Yeah, like, man, this is not intimidating at all, but he's trying to be. He's trying his best. Man, I have to take a piss.
Let's get a
piss break?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll be back, guys. Oh, we're back, guys. We're back. Ladies and gentlemen.
So, you know what scene, and I haven't even finished this movie yet because I've seen it in bits and pieces, was the scene in Semi-Pro when like 5 white guys are at the table and there's one black guy, and the black guy
jive turkey. Yeah, that movie.
Jive ass turkey, and it does skirt. Everybody stops and they look at you like, what did you just say? I think, and then Will Ferrell goes, I think he called you a cocksucker.
Like, nah, that's not what he said.
Yeah. And another guy's like, nah, I think he called you a cocksucker. I didn't hear. It was so funny.
That's a good fucking movie, dude.
Yeah. Semi-Pro is
whenever I think of that movie, I think of our buddy Justin. Shout out if you're watching, Justin.
Jackie Moon.
Yes, dude. Yeah, we were playing 2K for like the longest time, and he had the franchise where his character was Jackie Moon. It was so fucking good.
Which franchise? I mean, everything that he made on that game was Jackie Moon.
Was it really? I only played one.
He really leaned into it.
I love it. Had the BBB Train Ellis.
Oh yeah, that's true. And I didn't even know what that was until I watched it. I was like, oh, that's B Train Ellis.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
That's a funny ass movie, man.
Dude, what's some comedies to you that really stand the test of time?
Oh, I mean, there's so fucking many comedies, dude.
First off, isn't it kind of shitty that the Oscars doesn't have a category for horror or comedy?
I mean, they should have.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're just shitting on movies that, I mean, people love comedy. Dude, people love horror movies.
I'm going to stop you. Every time I fucking burp and I go to the side, I immediately think, chocolate rain. I mean, that's exactly what I think every fucking time. There's no stopping me from thinking that.
And that's how we do our mic checks. Before we start the show, we go, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. And then one of us goes, chocolate rain.
Dude, Daniel Tosh was such a fucking pioneer for like the video. Well, I mean, really was like ridiculousness.
Yeah.
But Daniel Tosh was so much better at it.
He was good.
He was such a good host for that shit, dude. It was so ridiculous, man.
That bitch on ridiculousness with the crazy
the big ass teeth.
Dude, that laugh was so obnoxious.
I mean, I'll think about every time I think about a bitch laughing that's ridiculous, I think of at Pilgrimage Festival. We're so fucked up, dude. And we're in line to get a beer, and we're fucked up. We do not need another beer. And we're so fucked up, man. And we're sitting there, and this bitch is talking to her boyfriend or whatever, and she is like, she's annoying him. Like,
yeah. She got the pigtails, like.
It reminds me of Scary Movie 2, the bitch with the jersey that got fucked, by the ghost.
Yes.
If you guys haven't seen Scary Movie 2, you need to watch it. It's a funny ass movie. But this bitch is like so loud and obnoxious. And she like looks, and they start talking to us, and we look at each other, and we're so fucked up. We're like, we don't need this right now. And we look back at her, and we just keep talking to her.
And we look at him, and he's like,
I wish you guys didn't have to deal with this. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, like, we went on about, that was at like 2:00. We come back.
Yeah, we were that drunk at 2:00.
After like 3 or 4 shows, we come back and we're in line, and next to us is, and I'll just look at her and I'll look at you and you just start laughing.
And I was already looking at you. I'm just like, God, please save us. Oh my God, dude, that bitch was so. I've said
really
bitch like 5 times.
She really leaned into playing the part of like.
She played the part.
The ditzy pigtails.
Laughing at her man's joke so loud. Which honestly, respect for playing the part. Sometimes people gotta play the part, man. It ain't gonna be me. I'm not gonna play the part.
I'm not playing the part.
I'm gonna be an asshole.
I'm gonna play the part of me, and that's all you're gonna
get.
say
some shit that ain't funny to me, and I'm gonna make it seem worse than it was. I'm gonna be more of an asshole than I need to be. I'm gonna play that part. Yeah. Oh, shit is crazy, man. But the woman on Ridiculousness is just like that, man.
It's so bad.
When she's playing the part, oh my God, I gotta sneeze. Held it in.
It's so bad, man.
Yeah, she plays the part of obnoxiously laughing.
I know this is a weird transition, but I kind of want to talk about Baker Mayfield going to the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, wow.
I guess annoying bitch reminded me of Baker Mayfield.
That's pretty accurate.
But,
well, Panthers fans, which one?
I know. Oh, my gosh. Dude, it's a good move for the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, I'm kind of happy that it happened because the Browns, they fucking shit on Baker, man.
To put in perspective, the Browns are paying Baker Mayfield $500,000 to try to beat them week 1.
Let's put it in perspective. Baker Mayfield, the Browns were nothing, and then Baker Mayfield came out and
made them contenders.
Brought the fans to life, took them to the AFC Championship.
Yes.
Was it the AFC Championship against the Chiefs? Or was
it was before that. Because
they
had a chance to beat them, but they couldn't pull it out because Case Keenum, I think, came in.
It wasn't Case Keenum. It was
who was it?
It was the backup for Patrick Mahomes. So it wasn't Case Keenum though.
Oh, it was. Oh God, it was the old Jaguars and Miami Dolphins quarterback.
Jay Cutler.
No, it was,
you're never gonna think of it now.
No, I will.
We'll go back to it, but dude, like Baker Mayfield really brought the Browns back to life that season.
Give them energy.
I mean, and not to mention, God, what's the quarterback that gets hurt every fucking year? Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback that year, and the first 2 games he was looking good.
Yeah.
And then he gets hurt, and Baker comes out and wins.
And the Panthers only spent a 5th-round pick to get Baker Mayfield. It's not like it's a huge gamble. Right. And you got a guy who has experience in the NFL.
Yes.
You have a guy who is always the whole key to the Carolina Panthers having success. Obviously, you want that secondary because they have the front 7. The secondary has to protect, down the field threats. But Christian McCaffrey has to stay healthy. If they can't run the ball and they know they're passing, Baker Mayfield has to have a running game.
He does for sure. But he brought the Browns to life, and then they go and fucking pay Deshaun Watson all that money.
It's shitty.
It's so shitty. So I'm so happy to see him just say, fuck you. And now Deshaun Watson's going through all the stuff that he is. Yeah. He might not even play week 1.
He might not.
And so
he probably won't. Probably Jacoby Brissett.
It's good to see Baker fuck the Browns like they did him.
It is. And honestly, I hope he beats them week 1.
I do too. I think it would be so poetic.
And there was 2 people. At first, I thought it was 3 teams that I thought Baker could go to. I thought it was the Falcons, the Panthers, and Seattle Seahawks.
Right.
And I kind of thought he would fit better into the Seahawks. But
I could see that with the run game.
Yeah, he might fit better into the Panthers if Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy. They have no tight end, so all the check downs are going to go to Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
All the run game is going to run through Christian McCaffrey.
For sure.
You got Robbie Anderson who can stretch the field. You got to have a safety over the top for Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson ain't doing shit.
Man. He had a bad season last year. But
he had a bad season the year before.
It wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that good?
No, he had 1,000 yards.
Did he?
Yeah. But
I didn't know that.
Not last year he didn't. The year before
yeah,
he had 1,000 yards. That's why he got the big payday. He got a big payday from Carolina.
That's fair.
DJ Moore, amazing route runner. One of the best running receivers in the league, honestly.
A lot of
the young receivers
talent last year.
Okay, who are you taking? Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz?
Oh. Carson Wentz is with the Commanders.
The Manders, yeah.
The Commanders.
With Terry McLaurin, tight end from
I mean, like,
Virginia
just
Tech.
straight up, like, put him in a spot.
I'm saying in fantasy football. Who you taking?
Oh, in fantasy football, I'm going to take Carson Wentz. I think his run game, I think his tenacity is a lot better than Baker's. I think Baker has, like, that whiny bitch mentality.
Okay, do you mean run game as far as the team's run game or
No, his run
the
game.
ability to run the
Yes, the
football?
ability to run the football.
Okay. I'm taking Baker over Carson Wentz.
That's fair. And also, I'm going to have a little bit of bias. I'm an Eagles fan. I always have a little bit of bias to Carson Wentz, but I think that with tight end, especially tight end too, with what's his name, Logan Thomas.
Yeah, that's
With the Commanders. I mean,
Tech,
he's a monster fucking tight end, dude.
He's good.
I think there's a lot more potential for Carson Wentz, and it's a new start for him. Baker is also the same. It's the same situation for Baker and Carson, but I think with Christian McCaffrey, if Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy, I'm taking Carson Wentz.
So you're taking Carson Wentz over Baker?
If Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy.
Now, we'll say this, that Carson Wentz had arguably one of the greatest run games last year.
That's true.
Couldn't capitalize off it. Now, granted that Colts only have Michael Pittman. T.Y. Hilton just shelved himself.
Well, I'm not going to say T.Y. Hilton. I'll say Pascal.
Pascal was good, but, I mean, he's not scaring anybody.
Yeah, but he's still got development there.
Yeah. I mean, just the surrounding. To me, it was
That's
great
pretty fair.
move for Baker to go there. I thought it was them, Seattle, and the Falcons. The Falcons taking Mariota. I wanted to see Mariota get one more chance, but he set up to fail. It's like Cam with New England. There's no receivers.
It's like Cam anywhere because he sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done, dude.
He's definitely done.
I hate it. I hate it for him because he's his rookie year with Carolina, and like I hate on him because I'm a big Gamecocks fan. I hate on him because of that year he beat Carolina whenever he was with Auburn.
To stop him from going to the SEC championship, yeah. But Cam Newton, I get it. He came back for Carolina for a second. He looked bad,
right?
But he was set up to fail in New England. There's no receivers. There's no tight ends.
And he was set up to fail in Carolina too.
Yeah, when he came back. But Baker, I think he's got, as long as the people around him stay healthy, and they took the left tackle out of North Carolina State.
Oh yeah, I don't
or the
remember
tackle.
his name, but yeah,
amazing. Sure. Icky, I can't remember
I don't
his
know.
last name, but he's a good tackle. I think it was a great pick. I thought taking Jake London for the Falcons was a mistake.
Right.
I mean, I get that they need receiver help,
but you need other things more.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
But I will say this: the fact that the Panthers didn't take a quarterback there, I respect it because there's no quarterback in that draft that was worth a shit.
I know this is way off topic, but I was thinking about I just looked down and saw the American Psycho Funko Pop, and that's another fucking character that I think about is so good. I mean, obviously he played so many roles. Christian Bale played so many roles.
He did.
Patrick Bateman in American Psycho is so fucking good, man.
Dude, Christian Bale's performance in The Fighter, I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Phenomenal, dude.
He makes you see into that like strung out, drugged out crackhead life.
He does.
He really makes you feel that. And I get it, Mark Wahlberg. It's a Mark Wahlberg film.
Wahlberg.
I know, I'm slurring.
Wahlburger.
I'm slurring. Mark Wahlberg is what draws the viewers in.
Right.
But you forget how good his acting performance is in that movie, The Fighter.
Dude, Christian Bale is so fucking good.
He's great, man. Give me some of your favorite actors. I want to hear it.
Some of my favorite actors. I can do this. You want them fast? You want them slow?
Give it to me slow.
So Leonardo DiCaprio is my all-time favorite.
Yeah, I get that.
Then I'm probably gonna say Brad Pitt number 2.
Really?
Just because Inglourious Basterds is my favorite movie of all time. I really love Fury. I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love Fight Club. I mean, of course I love Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club's good.
Brad Pitt is just like, but really Inglourious Basterds is what sets it off for me, man. Like him playing that, like, he can play the part of like the doofy fucking country guy, but he's also very articulate in like his planning and strategy and like stuff like that. It's such a good acting performance in that movie. Also, I'm gonna put Christian Bale up there. I'm gonna put Jonah Hill up there.
Jonah Hill's on my list.
So what I say? Leo, Brad Pitt, Christoph Waltz.
I'm gonna give you some pushback on Brad Pitt. I think that he is a very overrated actor.
That's fine.
I think that that most of him, like his success in Hollywood, was based off his looks.
I 100% agree.
He's a good actor.
I'm not wrong.
He's not great though.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think he's maybe top 100.
I wouldn't put him in the top 100.
I'm okay with that.
Maybe I would.
I think he's top 100.
I think I'm being an asshole.
But regardless, I mean, he's still my favorite. I don't give a fuck about how good he is. I think he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, and I don't know if he's. I guess I'm being an asshole if I don't put him in top 100. But I think that
he's not top 100. He might be.
There's a lot of good actors.
Could you name 100 better actors than Brad Pitt? No,
I probably couldn't.
Yeah. So I mean,
but I don't. I think that.
I probably couldn't name 100 actors. So that's why I'm saying
I could name 100 actors for sure.
All right, go.
I'm not going to do this to the listeners, but yeah, I think that he is slightly overrated.
That's fair. I'm not disagreeing with you. I think another actor that's kind of slightly overrated is Johnny Depp.
He is.
I think he's phenomenal, but I think people confuse like his versatility in acting versus quality of acting. I think they confuse that.
I think the problem with Johnny Depp is he picked the wrong directors. He really leaned into Tim Burton films and blockbuster movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Versus going with like a director that was really good at directing, like a Scorsese or a Coen Brothers or a Quentin or something on the lines like right there. You fucking baboon! Fuck you! Yeah, I think that he just picked the wrong director. I think he was trying to sell out and make as much money as he could. If he would have really been with
he made a lot of fucking money.
Tim Burton, he ain't shit, dude. I'm sorry. His movies I don't care about Tim Burton films.
Well, what's like his biggest fucking Nightmare or not Nightmare? Shit, fucking God,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, yeah.
He's got that
great movie.
Great fucking movie, dude. Cult classic.
For sure.
Oh, you know who else I should have mentioned for the underrated comedians is Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, not comedians. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say comedian. I meant actor. Underrated actor.
I've
had a lot to drink today. I'm sorry.
Underrated comedians. Willem Dafoe is top 5 comedians all time.
Really going off the rails here.
Yeah. Then another underrated actor or comedian, if you will, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's so good, dude.
I mean, if you're talking about like R&B, rap, pop music,
it doesn't matter.
He does 3 genres of music, and that's not even where he stops.
Comedy, movies, serious movies. Is Django? Yes. It's insane how talented he is.
Serious movie is a Quentin movie. It's hard to. It's a serious movie, but
you mean to tell me the dinner table moment and
but every scene that Jamie Foxx is in is a stupid ass scene.
Yeah, but not Django, man. You go back and watch it.
That's what I'm talking about in Django.
Yeah, there's very serious moments in Django.
There is, but every scene Jamie Foxx is in is a stupid ass scene, except for the Mandingo fight scene, which is a very.
I kind of disagree, man. Scene. There's a lot of scenes.
I guess we gotta go back and watch it tonight.
Yeah, especially with the and comment section. Let us know if you disagree. The Jamie at the dinner table when Leonardo DiCaprio breaks the damn glass and improvises and wipes the blood on
Kerry Washington.
Yes, wipes the blood on her face. That's a very serious. Once they enter that house. It's very serious.
It does, for sure.
Very serious. Because they're trying to get his lady out of there.
It's so weird that I think of this, but we watched so many comedies, and in our house, there was not very much filter in our house growing up.
Oh, no filter.
And one of the movies I remember so much with Jamie Foxx, I mean, this is the first time I ever saw Jamie Foxx in a movie, was Booty Call. And there's one scene in this movie where
he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Man.
There's one
Jamie
scene in this
Foxx is
movie
great.
where Jamie Foxx, I forget who the other actor is, but they're trying to like have sex, but they don't have condoms. And the girls that want to fuck them, they're like, "Oh, if you want to fuck, you gotta have condom." And so they like start looking like, "How the fuck we can get a condom? It's like 3 a.m. We can't just go out and buy this shit." So they start trying to get like Saran wrap. One of the biggest things like I remember from that movie is Jamie Foxx saying, "Man, we don't need that much Saran wrap. I just need to cover the tip." It is so fucking funny, dude. It's so ridiculous. He's like, "Yeah, I just need to cover the tip." I always think about that. It's
Dude,
so ridiculous.
and you want to talk about Jamie Foxx being serious? Watch Ray. His when he
show or
it's a
movie?
biopic
Okay.
with him playing Ray Charles,
Oh,
where he won the
wow.
Oscar for.
I have seen pictures of that, but I forgot about it.
Fucking phenomenal.
I never watched
man.
it.
Yeah, and he's actually going to play a role.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
I can't
yes.
wait for that.
That's going to be good.
So
He's going to
man.
He can do whatever.
He's
the
an
fuck he
underrated
wants.
actor. He's an underrated actor for sure.
He really is. He really is. And I think Willem Dafoe brought this up. Willem Dafoe. If you don't know Willem Dafoe, which I'm sure most of the
if you've
people
seen
listening
the
do.
Green Goblin from the
Yeah.
Spider-Man movies, if you've seen any of those, that's phenomenal acting. Just the start.
Yeah, but I mean, you love the Lighthouse. I love Boondock Saints.
Oh, I mean, of course.
Yeah, I know you love Boondock Saints too. I didn't mean
Yes,
to like
absolutely.
cut,
Yeah,
like
for
cut
sure.
you. Boondock Saints is like a vigilante movie that my buddy Will recommended to me, and I watched it with him. And shout out to Will because he showed me a lot of cool ass shit, man.
Yeah, for sure. And
Almost Famous, fucking No Country for Old Men, Boondock Saints, like a lot of cool ass
And
shit.
I wanna-
music too, man.
I want to tell more stories about. I want you to tell more stories about Will, but I want to wait. I really want him to be on the podcast.
I want him to be here.
And like, it's so crazy because like we talk about Will, and like I said, I want to wait for him to be on the podcast, and we do plan on having
Guests
guests
on
on
the
the
podcast,
podcast.
yes.
But whenever I think about Will, I think of like Little Big Planet.
Really?
Yeah, because we always used to play that game together. It was like
Don't remember that.
It was right whenever I was playing Guitar Hero all the time, and he would come in there and watch me or whatever, and then
He got me into Guitar Hero.
yeah, and the next thing you know, y'all started playing Little Big Planet, like the very first one together.
Wow.
And I will talk about this a lot more whenever we have him on the podcast because we do plan on having him.
Yeah, for sure.
So shout out Will, man. I want to get to know him better, you know.
And you talk about friend, like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. There's friends that I don't get the chance to see,
Right.
that I would love to see.
For sure.
You know, I want to. So when it comes to drama, if there's friends that are people that give me drama, I automatically cut them out. Straight from the get-go, just boom, cut them out. Because there's friends that I really love, and it really hurts me that I don't have the time to see.
Right.
And Will Ritchie is one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Will. You can cut the
Last
name out if you want. That's fine. But there's people that I really genuinely love that I don't get to see.
Right.
And I'm not going to give my time to people who I feel like judge me or, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That
And like we
I
talked
can't
about,
give my time to those people, man. And if you, and I understand if you don't have very many friends and you're hanging out with friends, I get it, man. You don't want to cut those people out and be yourself.
But I will always say, don't listen to us. We are so fucking stupid. We're so fucking
Thanks,
stupid.
man.
So, like, I mean, I want to give advice to people as much as I can if it can help people. But also, I want to say before you listen to any advice that we ever give that we're fucking idiots.
Oh, 100%.
Fucking stupid. We're
Yeah.
the dumbest people you're going to listen to today. And if you don't listen to us today, we're still the dumbest people you're going to listen
But
to.
I will say this. I feel like I have achieved peak mental health. My mental health has never been better. And I've gotten to the point to where it hurts me to see my friends and not be to the mental health that I am.
Yes, I agree.
It really
I agree.
bothers me, man. So I kind of want to push for people to be themselves, to find that peace peace of mind that I'm at.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So
I really hope you guys didn't hear that burp. That was gross.
I heard it. It was fucking gross.
So everybody else heard it too. Like you saying, man, I mean, like, peace is what everybody needs. Everybody needs peace. Everybody needs love.
Yeah, that's what we're all looking for. And it's hard to find, man, especially when you have a low-paying job and a spouse that bitches at you nonstop and friends that judge you and people that judge you and that's what I'm saying. If you're just a single person by yourself sitting there listening to this podcast, be yourself. Because I think that's what starts everything to fall into place.
And whenever you said that, I did have a friend or two that came into mind, and I'm not going to say names, I'm not going to say anything, but if you are listening to this, you probably know who you are. Dude, go out there and be your fucking self, man.
Be yourself, dude.
Be yourself. Do what the fuck you love. Who cares about anybody else but you?
Yeah. If those people don't accept you for who you are, they're not for you. They're just not for you.
Absolutely. It's so crazy because we label on Spotify, it makes you label your podcast as whatever, you know, a certain genre. And we label it as comedy, but we are not going in that direction in this episode.
Not at all.
But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
That's
I mean, we like the description says, we're going to talk about a lot of things, and life in general is one of those things, man.
It is. And
life is so confusing, so I don't want to ever act like I know a lot about life, but I just want to talk about my life experiences sometimes from the podcast. And
listen, I know that everybody comes from different backgrounds, different cultures. I just want people to feel the same peace in their head that I feel in mine.
Right, absolutely.
And part of that is being with someone who loves me, a spouse that loves me and gives me the freedom to be who I want to be. And I feel like most people deserve that.
Yes, for sure.
And I want to see my friends achieve that mental peace that I have. So when I see people struggling and I see my friends that are out there that are suffering, whether it be, bad relationship or they're just unhappy with their job or things aren't going right.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just doing the best I can to help them.
Yeah, and I'll say the same thing. I mean, I'm in the same exact situation where I'm with a person that lets me be who I am. I mean, I wouldn't be with anybody that wouldn't, but I'm glad that I found a person that is comfortable with me like I am with them,
Yeah.
And, oh, man, life is crazy.
Because
life's a roller coaster.
I mean, and I'm speaking to all the viewers. You're with someone. I'll speak to just directly men here. Have you ever been with a spouse that says, and you just bought a home and you say, hey, I want to put a podcast studio up in your upstairs in one of the rooms. You're going to get some negative feedback from that.
Yeah, right.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Just being with someone who respects you and who pushes
you
to do the things that you want to do.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's levels to get to that person, and I think that's being yourself, finding that person who can relate to you.
It's hard to love somebody else when you cannot love yourself.
100%.
It's hard to find somebody to love you when you cannot love yourself.
You can't. Yes. 100%.
So the biggest step into any success or any happiness in life is loving yourself.
100%.
And then finding that happiness is very fucking hard. I mean,
it's hard.
It's hard. It's
and
so
I understand
hard.
Some of us and some of you are very deep into, some of you have kids, some of you have a bad job, some of you have spent years into a dead-end job. It's hard, but it's never too late to try to turn that around.
And we talked about that last episode. There's no time like now. And
yes,
I will also follow
only
up.
Going to get harder.
I will also follow up from last episode. We might say some offensive shit, but we love all people.
We love all people.
We love all people.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I want to make this very evident. And most of the people that are not listening because of the stuff that we said, they're probably not going to hear this, but we love all people. And most of the shit we say are just stupid jokes.
We're just goofy.
We are very goofy.
We are the goofiest motherfuckers you will find.
Sorry about your ears.
Yeah,
that was loud.
That was loud. But it's okay. We just want to preach just mental health and peace, man.
Yes. We're just hippies. Oh, man.
I just want to see it just hurts to see people suffering that are close to us.
It does.
And I know that like my friends close to us, it's out there everywhere.
Right.
It's not just my friends that are close to you or me. People are really suffering out there, man.
For sure. Absolutely. I know this podcast is supposed to be like a conversation between me and you, but it really became a podcast to the viewers too. I mean,
For sure.
like that, it was a good one, man. You ready to wrap it up?
Not yet.
Oh shit! What you got? What you got?
How far in are we?
Hour and 15.
Oh, we got some time. We got some time to get.
Okay,
we ain't done yet.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
I didn't get to recommend my album,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
which
shit.
was, and I've went all back and forth because you recommended "Into Heartache" by Killswitch Engage.
I did.
I'm gonna stay on my soulful side for one more week and recommend "Half the City" by St. Paul and the Broken Bones, who I think they're from Alabama, just like Alabama Shakes, who I recommended last week. You recommended
Leon
Don't-
Bridges.
Yes, welcome
Sorry.
home.
Don't.
I just wanted to tell you, just
Stop.
don't
do that. Quit doing what you're doing right now. Oh God.
That's great. Yeah.
Stop it, please.
Yeah. Don't go any further. Hands up. Yeah. And dude, welcome home. That's
Coming home.
Coming home. Sorry, I knew it didn't sound right. That's why I asked you for some reason. And I've listened to the album
So many times.
which is a phenomenal album.
St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
Amazing album. Such a soulful album. You're not gonna find a better singer, honestly. You're not gonna find one unless
man.
you. I mean,
Wait.
you can find some out there. Obviously, like the big names, like the whatever you want to do. But if you're looking for some new music, follow me on this journey. I'm gonna recommend some music that you may not heard, but I'm not gonna recommend very much like country or rap or R&B. But I will say this: most of our listeners probably have already got an idea on what they're listening to and where we're at. I think that most of the listeners probably know more about country than I do, probably know more about rap than I do.
Well, I will say follow Shawn on this journey of our podcast.
But seriously, like, follow me on this musical journey because I'm going to recommend these albums, and I just recommended 3 like very soulful artists. That was Alabama Shakes, the Black Pumas, and St. Paul and Broken Bones. And I wanted to get them in before I got on this kick that I feel like my music taste is starting to change. You know how it is week by week when your music's starting to change? I can feel my music starting to change to something else.
Right.
So follow me. Follow me on this journey. It's not going to be rap. It's not going to be country or pop or anything like that. But you're going to get some jazz, some soul, some indie, some alternative, some blues, some classic rock, some rock and roll. You know.
Right. And I will say where he doesn't like recommend rap, I will recommend all the same things, but with rap included.
He does. He tends to. Yeah, he listens to more rap than I do, and I don't listen to any rap.
Right.
It is what it is. So if you do,
well, no, you do listen to rap. You do listen to some Mac Miller.
Yeah, but it's not like the more. Anyways, it's not. It's not like the more like rappy side of Mac Miller, like the Blue Slide Park and shit like that. It's more of the.
Regardless, it's still rap.
It is. Like Circles and Swimming. Those 2 albums I really got into, but
or even Anderson .Paak. I mean,
Anderson .Paak has a couple songs that I like.
The thing is, you don't respect, like, you're not like looking to listen to rap. You're looking to listen to music that has like people that respect instruments.
Yeah,
and then Mac Miller and Anderson .Paak are people that do that.
Because music to me is when I listen, like if you recommend a song to me that I've never heard or an artist and I've never heard, I'm going to listen to it, and the first thing that grabs me is the most talented musician in that band or So, like, if I hear a drum beat that's very progressive, offbeat, or whatever grabs the lead in that, I can't listen to EDM or bullshit
all
like
electronic,
that.
yeah.
I can't listen to electronic shit. I can't listen to.
Yeah, it might make you feel good, but like I want to listen to it because of the talent.
I gotta hear the talent. So
I
when I
hear
listen to a
the
band,
dedication,
the time it took to become who you are, I got like that instantly grabs. When I listen to Mastodon, I hear Brian Daler.
Oh my god,
instantly, dude. When I listen to,
speaking of Mastodon, I went out to Tap Room yesterday or last night, and I did not see old dude. I didn't see the beard, man.
that's the first time I've been out there and not seen him. Or yeah, didn't know he was there. But when I listen to an album or a song, the most talented person instantly grabs my attention.
Right.
So if I'm listening to EDM, someone who is put a lot of electronic, like Daft Punk, I can't get behind that shit, dude.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And like sometimes it does sound good, but like that's what it's all about. It's about that feeling. It's about the dedication of like,
Yes.
and like I'll revert back to Marcus King, like we talked about last weekend. Marcus King, dude, he's one of those guys that put his fucking soul into that shit. Like wasted at 8 a.m. How many people you can't write that shit without feeling it?
And we were listening. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
we weren't we talked about Brittany Howard. We talked about Adele. We talked about Marcus King. All those people feel the shit that they're saying.
Yes.
You can't write the shit that they write without feeling it.
Yes. And Marcus King really, for all the, if you're listening and you're an old head who complains.
An old head.
And hey, no disrespect to the
That
old
sounds
heads,
so
man.
derogatory.
It really does, because I'm an old head myself. I
You're
love
not.
old. I mean, I am in the sense of I really respect classic music.
Well, fair. That's fair. That's us. That's both of us.
And if you're sitting here telling me that there's no good music today, you're not fucking listening.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not paying attention. You're not seeking it out. If you're an old head and you can't find good music, come see me.
And I mean, like you look at our first episode, we had a Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin 2 is one of the albums that's hanging up. The other
The
album,
Stranger, Billy Joel. I really love it. I love it. That was
Billy Joel. I've been listening to him so much this week, man. The song, The Stranger itself.
Yeah.
We have so many faces. We have so many faces. But when we get, it's just such a good song, man.
I wanted to tell you one thing. So we went to see Billy Joel a couple weeks ago, and I know we're overtime right now.
Oh, we'll keep going. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Let's be 3 hours if it has to be.
Okay. So we went to see Billy Joel a couple weeks ago, which was fucking phenomenal. You forget how many hits he had. It was all hits.
Yeah, for sure.
And even he goes, yeah, this one really wasn't a hit, and then he plays Vienna.
It is. Holy shit.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
my favorite song by
this
Billy
one
Joel.
wasn't a hit, and it was Only the Good Die Young, or whatever it is.
Wow.
And you're just like,
That's both that album.
holy shit, dude. This motherfucker was such a good songwriter.
It's the faces of the stranger, but we love to try them on.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
So we get done, and Heather and I are looking for a spot to just like relax, have a couple drinks before we go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
The hotel. And we get to this. We're walking out, and I was like, damn, we took the wrong way. But in the distance, I see this like French Quarter looking alleyway. And I'm like, this looks cool. Let's just hold off on going back to like the main street or whatever. And it's just a little alleyway that looks like Bourbon Street a little bit, like the French Quarter.
Yeah.
And we go in there. We have a couple drinks. It's a very tight alleyway. People are kind of like shoulder to shoulder a little bit. You're going to bump into some people. And this guy walks out. And Heather and I we're just talking. I forget what we were talking about, but he walks out, and it's late night. It's like 1 a.m.
Right.
He goes, hey, man, I'm looking to get fucked. And I go, huh? He goes, I'm looking to get fucked. And I was like, all right, man. I mean, who's not? You know?
I mean, who do you want to fuck you?
He goes,
oh, wait, yeah.
I'm looking for a big dick. And I go, well, how do you know
Well, I can't help you. Well, I'm sorry, because I cannot help you.
I was like, so how do you know who has a big dick? He goes, tall and tan.
Oh, shit, that's you.
That's me. was like,
I don't have a big dick. I'm sorry. I can't help you.
I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Oh, fuck. Dude, whenever me and Gabby's dad, Robert, shout out to Robert, and also Austin was there, so shout out to you too. I really hope you. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're watching this. So
Can I get a
you
cut
know
off?
what's up.
When I think of Robert, I think of space dust.
Oh, dude. So we were talking about
terrible. Can't drink it.
So whenever and you never even like talked to Robert.
I've
which is
never
so crazy.
said like, "Hey man, I dropped you off one day." I was like, "Hey
Yes.
man, I hope you know."
That was whenever I was
whatever.
like 18.
Yeah,
Not even. I was like 17.
yeah. You was young, very young. Yeah.
So me and Gabby were talking the other day, and we were talking about like if we were to get married, like at the wedding, what we would have for like drinks. And I was like, I want to have an open bar with like kegs. And I was like, obviously, Space Dust would be one of the kegs. just for Robert.
Oh,
Respect, man.
Respect.
But where was I going with
Fuck,
this?
dude.
Okay. Holy shit! I just burped like 4 times.
Space Dust is one of those beers that if I'm at the listen, I love beer. If I'm at the festival,
Nope, I ain't getting Space Dust.
No.
Don't
quit
doing that.
Stop.
But yeah, so me, Robert, and Austin were at the Promise concert
Yeah.
in Asheville. It was Promise and the Sword. The Sword is like such a good fucking metal band.
I know a couple songs about Sword.
Like the vocalist is so much like Zach Wilde / Ozzy,
Okay, yeah.
But,
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
After the Promise concert, me and Austin and Robert were heading back up to the car, and this dude's like on the elevator. He's like waiting for the elevator that we're at, and he's like obviously tweaked out. And he looks at us and he goes, "Hey man," he's like,
He's tweaking out.
breathing. He's scratching his chest. He's like,
He's panting.
Yeah, yeah, like a dog. He's like,
I need some water, bro.
y'all want to buy some rock?
He asked you that?
Yeah, he asked all of us that. And we're like,
it's enough for me, dog.
we're like, nah, man, we're good. And then we get on the elevator, and it's like, we ride up, and it's like, oh, that was a fucking weird dude. And then we get to the top of the elevator, and he's at the top of the elevator. It's like, wait a second. This motherfucker ran up the steps.
He's waiting on you.
Holy shit.
He got a lot of energy.
He's like, hey, man, y'all want to buy some rock? And I'm like, no, I don't think we
It's
want
a
to
no
buy
for
any
me,
rock,
dog.
dude. He's like, that's cool, man. I mean, I ain't got none anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me neither.
Sure.
What the fuck, man?
That's fucking hilarious, dude.
Man, people are crazy. Oh, shit, another
we
one.
going in. Yeah.
Dude, but Promise is another one of those bands. It's like it's that progressive style, but they're so wild.
Dude, Les Claypool, when we talk about Promise, Les Claypool is a top 2 bass player of all
3.
time.
3.
Okay, 3. I'm cool with that. Because you got John Paul Jones and Geddy Lee. Yeah, that's cool. I'm cool with that. But their drummer is one of the most underrated drummers of all time, which comes that's part of it when you're in a band like Promise. I get it.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna be underrated.
Yeah, the whole band is underrated, for sure.
But their drummer is fucking amazing.
I can't think of their original drummer. They had 3 different drummers, so it's hard to say. But I mean, all 3 of the drummers are insane. I mean, you could put any of those three drummers as underrated. But I mean, even I can't think of the. Whenever I think of their guitar player's name, I think of Futurama. It's like the very similar name.
Yeah.
It's like Lamar's or Lamarch or something.
I
like
can't
that.
remember.
I can't think of the names.
Promise, honestly, but I've looked it up, but I can't remember.
But yeah, you ready to wrap this up, man?
Let's do it, man.
We went over and we tried to wrap it up, and then we had to go back on the path of some stories.
I
man.
couldn't let
some
it
stories
go.
couldn't. Yeah, exactly.
Some things, yeah. But cheers to you, and I want to say this: we've both have had people text us. Hey man, I really love this part of the podcast, but I can't believe you missed out on Val Kilmer being Batman, or this and that.
Right.
Please leave that in the comment section.
Yes, I'll even refer to like a good buddy of ours commented or messaged me and said, like, dude, the shout out, that's fucking ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
I can't believe you shouted me out there. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, we go all over.
And I wasn't expecting like people like this many people to listen to it, and so respect to every fucking body that's listening to it, man.
Thank you so much for listening.
So much, man.
And
I mean, we were so stupid.
Yeah,
I didn't say that word. We were so stupid.
Yeah, we're very goofy, and we're gonna come up with a lot of music and a lot of. We just want you to see our side of.
We're going to state our opinion like it's a fact.
Yes. And that might not be true. And if you disagree or you have a hot take on something or you might disagree with us, well, please let us know in the comments because we're going to read it.
But yeah, exactly. Like if I shout you out, please comment and say, you know, that story's true. Yeah. Like it's so fun to interact with the people that comment. And we want to interact with every person that comments.
And I want to give a shout out to Ducky who messaged me and said, like I said, I can't believe that you guys didn't, because we said George Clooney, Michael Keaton, you know, Christian Bale, all these Batman people who played Batman,
right?
Robert Pattinson,
yeah.
And how could you forget Val Kilmer? Dude, it just slipped my mind. Yeah, I'm sure I've said a lot of shit.
We were thinking about the good Batman and the shitty Batman, and Val Kilmer didn't make the list for our good Batman, but he should have.
Yes. So, like, if you have an idea, even if it's a new beer or something that we've talked about or an album you want to recommend to us that we would like, because like I said, I don't listen to rap or country, and I'm sure that most of our listeners do.
Right.
So let me know what you like and what you want to recommend. You know, I'll check it out.
I'm sorry for the people that are like, hell yeah, he's about to close it up, and then we don't, and then we're about to close it up again. But Val Kilmer, every time I think of Val Kilmer, I think of the Doors movie where he played fucking Jim phenomenal. Morrison.
Fucking phenomenal.
Dude, Val Kilmer is so fucking
He's a great
good
actor. He's a great actor.
I mean, it's like such a like underrated movie. It's like that and
I watched it not too long ago. Like
what's that movie with it was like a kind of like a sci-fi horror movie. It wasn't really sci-fi. It was like a mystery horror. It was like Mindhunter or something.
I don't remember that.
Okay, but it was basically, it had LL Cool J, it had Val Kilmer, it had a few other actors in it, but
okay, it
was like one of those like movies where like you don't know who the killer is.
Dude, what's the name of that fucking Vacancy?
Vacancy. I've never seen that.
Watch it. It's pretty good. Where you don't know like what's going on. It's like very psychological thriller.
Yes, exactly.
With John Cusack is the
cool.
lead, and it's very good. The Vacancy is pretty good.
But yeah, that movie with Val Kilmer, I'm pretty sure it's Mindhunter. But and like one of the scenes I remember the most, there's like a domino scene. You know, like everybody's seen those scenes where like the videos where it's like the dominoes and they're falling down and they knock some other shit over and knock some shit over. So it's like one of those, and then they're like they go into this room in this place that they're staying at, and all this shit starts happening. And at the end of it, it's like a fucking shotgun. It blows this dude's head off.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's a horror movie. Like people are getting killed, and they go into this room.
You said who's the lead?
It's no, there's no lead. I mean, that's the great part about it. Is Val Kilmer's in it and LL Cool J's in it.
Okay.
But yeah, they go into this room like it's after people have already died.
Yeah.
And they go into this room and some shit's happening and like somebody fucking dies in that room with the domino effect because of like where they're standing.
Okay.
It's like they predicted where they're gonna stand based on what's happening to the dominoes, right. You know. But it's like that's one scene that like resonates in my mind because of that shit.
Yeah,
it's so good, man.
That's cool, dude. But yeah, thank you. If you have anything that like, leave it in the comment section. Don't text us, comment. Please. And if you feel uncomfortable leaving it in the comment section, that's okay. Please text us. I don't want you to
We do appreciate all the texts. I mean,
all the texts we appreciate. Yes. So if you don't feel comfortable leaving it in the comment section, text us, please, because we want to hear from you. We want to hear all the feedback. So I just want to challenge people to engage in that comment section.
Even if, and I'm be honest, even if you listen to the whole podcast and you didn't leave a like, if you want to leave a dislike, man. We are 100% okay with destructive criticism. If you want to comment and say we are so stupid, do that.
We know.
We'll like the comment and be like, hey,
we agree.
What can we do? we agree. Like, we just want to better ourselves.
Help.
This is like we said earlier. We used to talk to each other, 4 or 5 times a week, and we're like, let's make a podcast out of this because why not? So we want to just make ourselves better and make other people like maybe try to get some influence and make themselves better too.
Yeah, and also if you have and this kind of goes with it, is if you have a beer that you really like, even if it's a domestic, let us know. Let us know.
We'll drink anything, man. We would drink any beer. We'll drink any sour. We'll drink any seltzer. We'll drink anything you recommend.
Yeah, for sure. And we really appreciate everybody listening, man. It's been great, and please just like and subscribe. It means a lot for us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's free to you guys.
And even if you're listening to Spotify, please like and subscribe. It goes a long way. It really helps us.
Yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. I mean, if you don't think it's 5 stars, leave a 1-star review. Leave a review.
Bitch, it ain't 1 star. Shit. If you leave a 1-star review and I see you and I know it's you, I'm gonna swing on your ass. I'm gonna be honest with you.
He ain't gonna swing, man. He big yogi.
That means I'm flexible. That means I'm gonna swing on your ass.
Hey, cheers, dude.
Dude.
This been good.
Respect.